Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is time to read the YouTube comments from last week's videos. If you want to be in the video, leave a comment. If it's good, it might make it in the video. All right, very cool. Good. If you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get on it. Gibby the Beard says there's definitely a reprint problem with the Digimon TCG. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing an RB2 that was handled better than RB1. Interestingly, was looking at purchasing that PB's21 set today. The price seems right when you take into account the medieval, hexablau, cherrymon, ace prices. Should be two in each. Yeah, I got some of these. They're good to have. It is a good reprint in a sense. It's just for some of the cards in that premium collection, it is way too late. But like for things like medieval, it's good. So it's a really good product. Like, it is a really good product. It's just expensive, but the value is there. So like, if you can afford it, it's really good for you. Digital Destin 214 says 12 seconds into the video, reprint problem. In my opinion, yes. Coming from a Yu-Gi-Oh background with Konami's aggressive reprint policies in mind, yes, big reprint problem. Yes, the miss out on certain reprints for whatever reasons. LOL. Laughing, crying face. But every card usually sooner than later will get reprinted. Digimon had a yearly reprint set. Oh boy, that would be great. A la Megaton style. Digimon should just do that. Like, seriously, Bandai should just do that. Once a year at least, big reprint set. Stick all the big cards in there. Stick the promos in there. Just make everyone happier. No one would complain about that. Unless they really botched it up. But, like, it would be a win. You know what I mean? Not these things where they reprint 12 cards in a premium collection, then 7 cards in an event pack. Like, it's just garbage. Ice Haze. I think Bandai needs to adapt the block rules like they have recently done in One Piece. This wouldn't stop the reprint problem, but it would make it so current formats to make sure that they could reprint cards more if they want them to be included in the meta, like RBO1 did with new label cards treated as older cards. It's a very interesting take on rotation in respect to reprints. I still think a rotation would do more damage than not at this point in my mind. At this point, that's my thought. But it would definitely solve the reprint problem. I will give that point credit to that, but I don't think that that's the correct answer. SS Umbreon, don't buy pre-sale, everything boomed overnight, more than pre-sales, Deus Medusa, super rare, 3-4 times the process, all along. And then Quartzman here comments and says, if you stayed up the night before when the product officially releases, they would see how much cheaper it was going to be in the afternoon. It was still the best time to buy. You have to snipe your targets quickly. Okay. There were a lot of comments, not a lot, like, I want to say a handful of comments in my Market Watch on Saturday saying, Mario, you were wrong, buy the pre-sales, all this stuff. I'm going to make this crystal clear for everyone. And I'm going to use some very hard language, so I apologize in advance for what I'm about to say. There's a reason why I provided the data to go with the cards. Well, in most cases, like Medusamon. It's because on release day, it was cheaper. Like I said it would be. Because it always is. With the odd exception. There is the odd exception to the rule. Okay? However, everything was cheaper on release day. Your supers, your alt-arts, your secrets. They were cheaper on release day. And then some of them, like Medusamon, like the secret rares, blew up right after the fact. This happens, okay? Especially with secrets, like take Medieval Gallantmon, take Death Xmon, take BT13 Gallantmon, take Ruin Mode. When those secret rares came out, they were cheap for a day, and then they were not cheap. Because people realized, wow, these cards are good. Let's buy them all at once. And that's what people do when sets come out. But that's why I provide the data. Because if you waited till release day and bought, like a lot of people I know did, they were rewarded. If you didn't, if you waited in some cases till, say, Saturday for Medusamon, well, that's your problem. That's not my problem. If you're too slow, that's a you problem. Not a me problem. My analysis was correct, as it usually is. And if you don't like that, I don't fucking care. You can do whatever you want with that. Stop watching my videos. That doesn't matter to me. Because I'm right. And if you think I'm wrong, you're wrong. Because I have objective data to prove that it was cheaper on release day. to buy it. Caveat, there will be occasionally an exception to the rule. Nothing in this world is 100% certainty. It's okay. But the rule still applies. Don't buy the pre-sales because you will make out on top 99% of the time if you're smart about it. If you're an idiot, then that's not my problem. If you don't buy on release day, it's not my problem. From release day onward, that's not my territory. Don't care. I do care, but like not in the sense of the pre-sales. Cool. All right, moving along. POTRM. I'm curious. Do you think it's worth it to invest in Digimon cards? The short answer is technically no, because other card games have better investable value. However, there's a long answer to this. The long answer to this is Digimon is a card game that takes heavy reflection from anime and such. So you'll notice that I tell you guys a lot, I'm buying X card because I think it's going to go up. And that's usually based on, this is going to get support. This is going to go up in price. So like short-term investment to flip, yes. Long-term, there are other long-term investments I would do over Digimon cards, like stocks. That's just my opinion, though. Eddie comes in and says, something to note is because we are getting the sets at the same time as Japan, we are going to see weird spikes to certain cards because people can't look at Japan for future decks. Like the Tai spots were due to the Hunter deck profile, and Huang used Tai because the new Digimon can play it and has some uses. Davis spike was due to armor, winning, and Eagle Nest locals. Not that this should even matter. If you know how to evaluate cards, then you will know what to pick up. This is, true. Content creators and content do affect the market. This is not news that I've been sleeping on. This has been true for almost 5 years in Digimon. Content creators say X, it could cause Y to jump in price. So if you see something like that, be quick about it and you'll be fine. If you're not fine, nothing I can do about it. But yeah, it is true that we can't get any buy-in from Japan anymore to know what the shit is and what isn't, if that makes sense. It is uncharted territory. This does affect the market. Brian Jalette, if I said that wrong, I apologize. I watch your videos every day. You have a lot of insight to give to the community, and for that, I am very thankful for your marketplace statistics. No problem. That's what I'm here for. I'm the best at it. Captain Deebs. Worst set since EX1, says BT21. I don't think that's true, but you are entitled to your opinion. I'm curious as to why you think that, but let me know. Christian Garcia. Paladin reprint artwork is whack. Same applies to BT13 Grush Gallant. Change my mind. I'll admit, it's not great artwork, but I have never set Digimon on a high bar of artwork in the first place, subjectively speaking. There are some bangers, that's true, but these particular reprints were not bangers, in my opinion. In my opinion, you're welcome to tell me my opinion is wrong if you think otherwise, and that's okay, because this is an opinion, not fact. Forever Classic. What posts were these comments from? Like, I get the discussion points, but it would help to see what the comments were referring to. Okay, so sometimes I will proactively mention what video is for what. Some of the comments say it in the comment, what video it's referencing. But sometimes I don't need to, because it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just a comment for the sake of being a comment. Like this comment came in the last comment video. So there you go, for context. Rathalos Dread King. I personally had to get out of the competitive mindset. I had the benefit of having a really chill locals, so you can sometimes take something really bad, Gammon being my favorite, and still have fun nights. Yep, that's fun. That's nice. I'm glad that you were able to do that. I'm slowly ejecting myself from the competitive mindscape as I am spending my free hobby time on other things. It's healthier. It's better. Jack Shintaku. Digimon is fun, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be the thing that brings you purpose in life. It's great that you are starting to hike and exercise. I mean, I was always exercising, but like hiking's fun. I also have other hobbies that I'm not going to get into in this video. But yeah, no, I acknowledge the Digimon card game still kind of, sort of, really kind of, sort of, can be fun. Kind of, sort of. But there's a lot of bullshit, and I'm not a big fan of it. Hopefully one day it gets fixed. The rest of the comments are related to my Tariff the Digimon comment video, because that got the most views, like most comments last week, and I think a lot of the conversation in that video was good. For example, Vinny's words saying Trump is low-key killing TCGs if prices for shipping go to the moon. Kind of, but TCG players are really stubborn. A lot of TCG players will not give up. They will keep supporting their hobby no matter what, which is cool. It's an interesting thing. We'll get into more comments on that later on. But yes, some people will be price walled out, but also more people will just come in and play anyway. So like, I don't think it's a big deal, but it is something to keep in mind because it might matter. What'll be interesting is to see, especially in Canada, card game sales in 2024 versus 2025 when 2025 is over. That's something I'm really interested in because I want to see the global situation if it has an impact. We'll find out. Gumdrop Lollipop. Digimon TCG is helping me quit smoking. I spend an amount in a month on smokes and as much as a premium deck. That's interesting. That's nice though. Definitely a healthier outlet than smoking. I can agree with that, so that's good. I'm happy for you. Boris the Goose says, Mario's financial advice world. Yeah, I think everything you mentioned here really hits the nail on the head. It's still just a hobby and one that I would likely quit if I ever find myself not being able to properly put back my money for emergencies, bills, etc. I'm not quite there yet, but if prices of things keep trending the way they are, I will likely have to be there or vastly change what decks I'm purchasing, buying. True, absolutely. You have to be smart. You can't be dumb for the sake of a hobby. Especially when Bandai has proven it doesn't really care about you, per se. Spend the money because you care on yourself. You care about yourself. Spend the money on things that'll truthfully make the most sense to you, that'll give you the greatest peace of mind. Absolutely. Rickford. Prices just increased by $11 a box to at wholesale. My profit margins. Yeah, Canada's going through the same thing. Boxes are more expensive. Cards are more expensive. And Canada is approaching a really interesting spot. You guys remember that Canada Post mailing strike from 2024 winter? Well, it appears it's coming back because Canada Post never was able to negotiate terms that they were favorable to them, which means things could get really fucking bad for Canadians and card players. But we'll cross that bridge if it becomes a bridge that needs to be crossed. We'll talk about it more, I'm sure, in the weeks to come. Justin Jenkins. Yeah, I was just talking about this. TCG are getting out of hand. I really can't afford my hobbies now, so I'm definitely getting a second income, but I still might not be able to afford it on TCG or other games. Prices are going to go up. Getting a second income to afford your hobby is really interesting. It seems counterproductive. Like, the reason I have additional income sources is to help my retirement. Like, for those of you that do not know, that are new to the channel, my goal is to retire nicely in my 50s. Preferably early 50s, but I'll take mid-50s. And I just want to be able to spend the rest of my life relaxing, enjoying myself, making passive money off investments, and maybe the odd other thing. But I want to be mostly retired, and I want to spend my days doing things that I want to do. And going to places I want to go to. I'm working and busting my ass now with, taking some time for myself. I'm not killing myself anymore. To enjoy life in the moment in case, I get hit by a train. There's GG's. That's true. But yeah, I would not get a second income just for a hobby. I would get a second income to help solidify your bills and expenses and savings for the future. But that's just me. You do what you want. Last comment of the day goes to Panzerka. To be fair, the vast majority of TCG players are spending above what their financial situation should allow for hobby responsibly. Seen it for decades. Folks will get paycheck and empty it on cards instantly. That behavior ain't going to stop. You know what really speaks out to me about this? I see people in the Facebook groups, and you probably know who they are. that are buying lottery cards left, right, and center. They want their max rarity cards. And I was that guy. I was getting a play set of every max rarity yellow card that included lottery cards. I had to stop because I had the self-reflection. I said, I'm an idiot. I should just put this in the stock market. Fucking $10,000 later. Now what do I have? Some max rarity yellow cards I don't even play anymore? That's such a fucking waste. It's terrible. And it makes me think that if these people that buy lottery cards for their decks, they've made a financial choice to say, I would rather spend my money on financial cardboard and one day sell out and sell what I can if I get sick of it, rather than doing something more productive with it, like throwing it in the stock market, making smart financial choices and whatever. Now, I don't know these people's situations. Perhaps they also have, maybe they're making 6 figures a year, they're making some pie, and they're putting money in investments or real estate, whatever, already. And this is just spare income because they're loaded. And I get that as someone who earns a 6-figure income between all my sources. But, like, still, really? And my wake-up point was when I was buying all those max rarity yellow cards. At that point, I said, this is the worst decision I think I've made in this card game since doing it. I should just put it in stocks. Because if I put it in the stocks that I was going to put it into, I would have doubled my money. And it would have been really cool. But I was an idiot. And I spent it on max rarity lottery cards for yellow. Don't be me. Learn from my mistakes. And with that, it's true. Hobbies need to be responsibly completed. You cannot fall in the trap of saying, oh, just $50 more here. Oh, just $100 more here. Living a little bit tight this month. That's okay. Let me spend $200 on 2 Video Galmons. That is foolish. And people should not do that. It's just a hobby. Digimon is just a hobby. You can relax. And it's going to be okay. That'll do it for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll see you later. Bye.